What is good, defenders, and welcome. It's the night before a match, so you know what time it is. It's time for One More Sleep, your favorite pre-match segment brought to you by your friends here at Defenders of the Bank as LAFC heads to Nash, Vegas to take on the first place in the Eastern Conference, Nashville SC. This should be a good one from Geodis Park in Nashville, Tennessee, Sunday, May 17th. And you know my voice, it's the Scarf. J.R. Liebert coming to you just after leaving Rollinson Stadium for a fantastic Dose Derby. Congrats to LAFC 2, a 3-2 victory over Los Gros. Let's see if we can parlay that to a big club victory out in Nashville. Coming to you live from in front of these for only a little bit longer, but in front of a much more pleasing background. I give you my partner in pod in, I think, his favorite goalkeeper kit, if I remember correctly, one Christian Philly Philemon.
Yeah, I would say my favorite. Of course, it gives people memories of the Kenneth Vermeer days. And for those that are new, if you look up Kenneth Vermeer's LAFC history, it wasn't very good. And speaking of history, what a season it's already been. Such an awesome start to the year where we notched a club record 11 matches unbeaten. And now we're in fifth with a 6-4-3 record, back-to-back losses. And you said it's going to be a good one when we go to Geodis Park. A good one for who? Nashville is on top of the East, and they're top 3 in the entire conference. One loss. They only have, 3 or 4 other teams in MLS that have scored more than they have, and they have allowed the fewest amount of goals, tied with Seattle. So I don't know who you're reckoning this is going to be good for. I don't know if it's going to be good for LAFC, Scarf.
And unfortunately for Seattle, they now have allowed 10 goals on the season because of Galaxy's win today out there. Gross. Look, they've only played 12 games, so maybe that 8-goal allowed number is a little low. We've played a little bit more than that. There are only a couple of teams in MLS that have only played 12 games. But yeah, look, any way you slice it, this is still one of the best teams and has been one of the best teams in Major League Soccer for the last couple of seasons now, ever since head coach B.J. Callahan took over. He, by the way, was the head coach for the U.S. men's national team for 7 matches. But he has looked good in his 70-plus matches for Nashville. It won't be a Walker Zimmerman reunion anymore, Philly, as we play Nashville. But at least we get to see El Papel, right?
Yeah, Andy Nahar, and he's in a familiar position that he was in with LAFC, out with an injury. So there's your reunion right there. Andy Nahar, El Papel. It's funny. He left and he started doing really well after LAFC, but it doesn't surprise me that the reunion, he just happens to be injured. I mean, it's very reminiscent of his entire LAFC career.
And injuries, by the way, coming to the forefront in this one, we knew that we wouldn't have Sergi Palencia and Igor Jesus, but Hugo Lloris landing on the out list for this one. There will be no Hugo. I was at Rollinson Stadium watching LAFC 2. There was no Cabral Carter to be found. So he is on the trip along with the wall, Thomas Hassall. So it's going to be one of those two guys in goal. I imagine it'll be Hassall, but we'll have to see. Yes. We've hedged our bets. Yeah, look, we've hedged our bets nicely on this one, as you'll find out in a minute. But that being said, another massive injury for this one, Philly. Sam Surridge, who, top 5 striker right now in Major League Soccer, top 5 or 6 maybe in CONCACAF. He's out too for Nashville.
Yeah, the guy's got 9 goals over the course of 7 games and multi goal scorer, double-digit goal scorer if you incorporate that across all competitions. It is a shame because that's a player I was looking forward to seeing. He's had a stellar presence in Major League Soccer, but perhaps this actually bodes very well because his 9 goals on the regular season, he's not going to be a danger, and he's been a danger anytime he's been on the pitch. Initially, when I was looking at players to watch, you look at his stats and just how how he converts. How we've talked all season in the last few games in particular about the opposition just getting a couple of shots, but being very precise with their their goals to shots on target conversion. He'd be a big one in this contest, but at the very least, we don't have to worry about him. But we have to worry about who's going to be tending to goal. It's a lot of worries in this one, Scarf. I am not very optimistic going into Nash Vegas. I will say, though, that I am rather envious of everybody that is there. I went to college not too far away from Nash Vegas, and it's a stellar place, although it's gotten a hell of a lot more crowded than the time I used to go there when I was in college. The bachelorette capital of the United States, without question. And for those that are there right now, you know exactly what I'm saying. But Nashville's a fun time, man. I highly recommend that to the city to anybody who hasn't gone yet.
Yeah, also gone from Nashville over the last year would be Jacob Schaffelberg. He's now with LAFC. So he had 31 goal contributions. Yeah, maybe 31 goal contributions in 107 matches. So he definitely contributed to some of their good times in Nashville. Look, they've got Christian Espinosa. We'll talk about him in a little bit, but anytime you see that guy in the starting 11, there's something to worry about. He is fantastic, is Christian Espinosa. In goal, a player who I wasn't very familiar with until I started watching Nashville this season, Brian Schwakey. And I can say that he's probably going to be in goal because he's played every single minute in all 20 matches so far, and he has 11 clean sheets. So this is a keeper who has been playing on par with Hugo Lloris. A new striker from Saprissa, Warren Madrigal, with 5 goals on the season already. That would be tied for the team lead if he played for LAFC right now. So welcome to the family Madrigal from Saprissa, the 21-year-old Costa Rican. And, oh, by the way, one of the must-see players in all of Major League Soccer, 2 goals away from 100 with Nashville, would be Hani Mukhtar, one of the best in MLS. 98 goals, 60 assists in 228 matches. And Philly, his 228 matches all time for Nashville, number 2 behind Alex Mule, who we are also going to see in this one. He's at 229.
I mean, in all fairness, Nashville's a very young club.
Yeah.
Much younger than even we are. And Hani Mukhtar is always a deadly player. It's crazy with how good he's been. I mean, the poor guy never managed to get anywhere further than the Germany U21 team. But it's to our benefit. I mean, when you have your club career at Hertha Berlin and not really much going on there, and you get bypassed, you go to Portugal, and then you go to Austria. The MLS has really been the benefactor of this guy's talent. Just goes to show you how competitive the rest of the world is. If Hani Mukhtar, who's arguably one of the league's best when it comes to his game as an attacking midfielder, you can't make it overseas. Yeesh. Talent pool, talent question.
Right? Reed Baker Whiting, who you guys also might remember from his Seattle days. Yep. He's on this club now. And Philly, look, normally I'm not trying to name shame here, but I love this guy's name. He might be my favorite player in Major League Soccer. A 25-year-old Haitian with 1 cap for his national team and 2 goals this year for Nashville. His first name is Woobens. 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 Woobens Pacius or Pacius? I don't know. I've never heard of Woobens before, Philly.
He's your favorite player and you don't know how to pronounce his name?
I love his first name. His first name is Woobens. Woobens. There's no R in there.
It sounds like you're speaking with a lisp.
I know. And oh, by the way, Philly, remind everybody where Jack Mayer went to college again.
A small little university in Bloomington, Indiana, which is not too far from where many of you are in Nashville. IU, baby, Indiana.
He's also,
by the way, I do want to say this. Like, I am no longer going to talk any kind of mess about Sunny Stands for the remainder of the season.
What happened?
I mean, I'm going to be hypocritical because what Sunny Stands are doing with LAFC and just being fans of the club, that's exactly what I'm going to do with the Raiders. That's a result of Fernando Mendoza being their pick. I was looking at a whole bunch of Fernando Raiders stuff, like from photos of him getting drafted and all that other jazz, and I thought to myself, what an a-hole I am for even thinking anything negative about anybody that's a big fan of a player coming onto this club, because it's literally what I'm going to do when the NFL starts.
Yeah, look,
so sorry, all those Sunny Stands out there, I am with you.
And I talked about that last podcast, right? Like, they're going to just follow him no matter what. And I get that. Last quick thing before we get into all of our stuff. Oh, it helps if I upload those slides, by the way, so I'll talk slowly while I do that. The couple players to watch in the midfield, by the way, really surprised that these two will be out. So I'm interested to see what their midfield will look like without Patrick Yazbek, who has been very, very good for Nashville this season, and Edvard Tagseth. Those are two midfielders that take up a bulk of the minutes for Nashville. So it'll be interesting to see their midfield really beat up right now, really hurt. Obviously, no Andy Nahar on the back line, no Sam Surridge on the front line. This is a club that's pretty hurt right now. Of course, LAFC having no Sergi and no Hugo Lloris for this one is going to be big. But shall we get into our players to watch?
Please.
All right. I told you I'm sticking with him until he does something. So, Sonny, for all you stands out there, I'm merely shining the spotlight on him so that we can all bask in the wonderful things that he does when he does them. But I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Sonny to have his breakout game, and I don't even know how much Sonny's going to play in this one. I don't know how much roster rotation to expect, but I know that we'll put a best 11 out there to start the match, and it should absolutely include Son Heung-min. I'm just ready. I'm ready for Sonny to have one of those games where he takes over and does some things. I will be the one purveying the low-hanging fruit, apparently, on this episode of One More Sleep, as my other choice is Hani Mukhtar, because, duh, it's Hani Mukhtar. There's no introduction needed when you're talking about one of CONCACAF's best players, Hani Mukhtar.
All right. For me, it's simple. For LAFC, it's whoever the freaking goalkeeper is going to be. It could be Hassal. It could be Cabral Carter. Why is this important? Because, this is one of the best scoring teams in Major League Soccer. As I mentioned, there are only 4 teams that score more goals over the course of the MLS regular season than Nashville, and that's Miami, FC Cincinnati, despite being a mid-table team, 27 goals, very impressive. Vancouver and San Jose. So whoever is in between the sticks right then and there, that's the important job, because as we know, LAFC has a tough time scoring right now, and so I'm not going to pick any players to watch that have the capability of scoring goals. I am going to resort to, it would have been Hugo Lloris, obviously, but in this case, whoever the keepers are, because they are going to be incredibly busy tomorrow. This is a team, Nashville, that comes in with a plus 18 goal differential. They really do good going from pitch to the back, from pitch to stitch, if you really want to break it down. And for Nashville, listen, Christian Espinosa, the best thing that happened for LAFC in terms of teams in the West is that Christian Espinosa went on over to Nashville, a team that, which, by the way, we're only going to be competing against for the 5th time all time. We've only played them 4 times. Christian Espinosa, member of San Jose, over 200 games, nearly 40 goals scored. This guy was a thorn in our side, and he reveled in the competition against LAFC. So to me, he sees black and gold, and he sees green, because he makes a lot of his money based on how successful he is scoring against LAFC. He is a tough player. He's not their leading scorer, but he's significant in terms of their goal contributions this season. 3 goals scored, and he's the leading assist man, 2 above Hani Mukhtar. Christian Espinosa, for those that know and that have followed, you know how devastating he was, and now we get to see him again, but this time donning a different kit.
Fluffhead, I just got the alert about that fight. I'm sorry, man. That's rough.
Yeah. Don't talk about it, because it's going to go part into my keys to the game.
Yeah. No, I just saw it right now. I was like, oh, God. Look, I'm tired of our offense looking super stagnant, and I think it is unnecessarily so. I want to see some more movement from our boys. I want to see us overload a side until it breaks and keep trying that and see what happens. How many times have we seen clubs attack the same side from LAFC or for LAFC of LAFC? There we go. All game or all half. Then all of a sudden they get something to work because they keep probing, they keep prodding, they keep looking for that little crease, that little seam, that little hole. And I'm not going to lie, I'm tired of seeing our boys not try the same thing. Give me an overlapping run. Someone come in from behind. Someone overlap into the middle. Someone get the defense moving so that they can't just be stationary 1v1 or even 2v1 sometimes on Sonny or Denis, or in this case, David Martinez. By the way, start David Martinez in this one. But I would love to see us overloading and overlapping. We just have been so stagnant on offense in the attacking third. We look like we are ready to just give up the ball and go right back into defending. So I'm tired of it. I want to see some changes on the offensive end, and I want to see some more movement. I know these guys haven't had a ton of time to practice, but these guys all know how to make an overlapping run or to overload one side of the pitch and see what breaks. So let's try it with no Andy Nahar. Attack that side. Whoever's coming in for Andy Nahar, next man up, make him have to do his job. Let's go.
You might have a point because in the only loss of the regular season that Nashville had to Chicago, that's exactly what they did, was attack that side, despite not necessarily having as much possession. I mean, beating Nashville 1-0. It's the only team that's done that thus far in Major League Soccer. So you might have a point. My first thought, obviously, is don't concede early. The game in which Chicago did beat Nashville, I mean, they basically did what well, not the easiest thing. They scored the fastest goal in club history when they went ahead and did that. Slightly longer than the Ronda Rousey 17-second armbar that just won on Netflix. For those that are upset about it, be happy you didn't have to spend the pay-per-view money. When LAFC concedes first, they obviously are susceptible to a lot of other problems, and they have to battle it out from then on out. So don't concede early would be the first one, because we've seen how they've played. Anytime they've conceded early, it hasn't been very pretty. And honestly, it's all about handling Hani Mukhtar. You go back to the videotape of the Chicago Fire, and that's exactly what they did. Chicago locked him down. They couldn't allow Hani to create. They didn't allow him to turn on that emotional thermostat that helps him run that German flair. They completely locked him down. And obviously is one of the key assist men to go along with Christian Espinosa. As you like to say, the straw that stirs the drink. Hani Mukhtar is a big part of it. So they're going to have to handle Hani. The game essentially could be argued that it's going to be one in the midfield, but I have to tell you, Nashville's got a better midfield than we do, in particular these last couple of games. But if we can handle Hani and not concede early, we might stand a chance.
Yeah, with a couple midfielders out injured and Sam Surridge, at least it makes our attacking options that we've got to figure out a little easier. That's for sure. Look, I'm probably still too optimistic, Philly, but I'm not that optimistic. I think this one,
it's a progression.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be a 2-2 draw. I think Lunch Special Gio, I'm putting your comment up. It wouldn't surprise me if Gio's comment is correct.
No,
but
it wouldn't surprise me if Surridge was there.
Well, agreed. But he's not. They still have Hani Mukhtar and Christian Espinosa. So here's what I will say. What I saw from our boys when Cabral Carter had to come in, when we were in the midst of that shutout streak, and then unfortunately it got lost there, they really rallied around the young kid. It was a really tough last-second goal that cost us that match, which, by the way, continuing to concede points late, not a good thing. But they really rallied around Cabral Carter. They absolutely did. And I think they do that knowing that, obviously, they don't have a two-time World Cup finalist and a World Cup winner between the pipes, right? So everybody has to step up their game just a little bit more. It's not saying that Cabral Carter and Thomas Asal aren't capable of being that good, but we know what we get from Ugo. The jury is still absolutely out on both Thomas Asal and Cabral Carter. So I think our boys are going to rally. It might even be one of those, though, where this draw, I'll say it, this might even be one of those that feels like a loss. Maybe they get a late one. I don't know. I'm trying hard not to be doom and gloom about this one. I'm trying to find the silver linings, but at best tomorrow, I think it's a 2-2 draw.
You are beyond optimistic, but it's been a progression. I don't think we win tomorrow. In fact, I don't think we win against Seattle either. We are going to lose the next two games. Then we're going to get that 7-week break. And then you are going to see a completely different LAFC team, similar to the one that we saw in the beginning of the season when we went on an 11-game unbeaten streak. That's the receipt that I would like to leave here right now. My scoreline, and this is unless Danny Bowanga gets going, is that Nashville is going to win 2-1. And I envision the game going exactly how it went the last time around with St. Louis. Nashville scores early. Nashville scores first. Nashville scores again. LAFC hits one back, and then they chase the game, make it interesting, but don't have enough in terms of the capability of going from pitch to stitch. That's my thought process there. We lose against Nashville. We lose at home against Seattle. And then we start destroying everybody after the World Cup break.
Yeah, look, I'd like to say that I'm optimistic about this one, but you know what?
You're optimistic about everyone. I'd love to know how many games either of us combined have said that LAFC was going to lose in the history of these one more sleeps.
Yeah,
I think now I'm being realistic.
If that'd be a really fun thing to go back in total. I want to say I probably only predicted them to lose maybe a handful of games ever.
I don't even think that.
Either way, I don't know, Philly. I'm nervous about this one for sure. I think it could go very badly very quickly. At least they don't have a full complement of offensive repertoire for which to attack us with. But it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be all hands on deck on this one too. I think, Philly, we are going to see some heavy roster rotation in this one to try to get as many boys back in the building on Monday at training or Tuesday at training, whatever it is, happy and healthy so that they can have, and this, Philly, it'll be the first time. This will be the first time in I don't know how long that we will have 3 or 4 days of actual training before we play a club. I just wish it didn't have to be Brian Schmetzer's Seattle Sounders.
Brian Schmetzer, and formerly of the St. Louis Steamers fame in the old MISL days. That's right. Schmetzer was an indoor soccer legend. His brother was pretty darn good, too. There's key omissions for both teams. And so both teams are going without being at full strength. It just so happens that we don't have one of our best defenders and our best goalkeeper, and arguably the league's best goalkeeper. They don't have one of the top scorers in Major League Soccer, and the guy who was on our roster because he was hurt the entire time. And Nanny Nahar's played 11 games, so it's not like he's been hurt the entirety of the season. It's so funny to me that we're not seeing him because he's flipping hurt. It's so appropriate. But despite both teams having a lack of they don't have their full deck, I do give the edge to Nashville. And yeah, it sucks right now. We are living in a terrible, terrible time in terms of LAFC's performance. But look, 11-game unbeaten streak. We know the tools are there when things are capable and we have a regular freaking season. I'm telling you, after the World Cup break, and despite what anybody says, Mark Dos Santos is not going to lose his job, even if they lose the next 2 games. Will the seat be warm? Yes, everybody's seat should be warm. In fact, all our players' seats and roster spots should be warm. But that being said, after we lose the next 2 games, we take that 7-week break, we come back and we beat the tar off of every single team that we go up against, because we go back to the next part of our season a little bit more refreshed, relaxed, the opportunity to assess, the opportunity to address all the things that we had not been able to address in the previous few weeks. And it'll be a complete 180 to start off the next part. That's what I think.
Yeah, and look, LAFC is going to be losing, it looks like, anyway, right? 3 Canadians, Sonny, and potentially Ryan Porteous. I hope so.
I don't know.
I haven't heard good news on that front. But
I don't think he's part of the I think he's more of a part of the Tartan Army in terms of being a spectator.
Yeah, it's going to be a bummer for sure. But we're not losing a ton of guys to the World Cup break. I mean, more than Carson. But I think, by the way, one last thing before I'm done. World Cup stickers are out. You guys get your World Cup stickers. Yeah. And by the way, Sonny, Chouanier, and Schaffelberg, the cool part about the 2026 stickers that they didn't have in 2022, and I was so pissed. They didn't have the team's club that they play for on the front.
Yeah,
and now it's back for 2026. And those 3 players, Chouanier, Schaffelberg, and Sonny, all say Los Angeles FC on the front. Eustachios says Porto because he's on loan. But there are 3 stickers to collect for all of you LAFC heads out there. We'll see. We're going to do some fun stuff with stickers over the World Cup break, Philly. We got all kinds of fun things planned. Philly's going to talk to you about his plans after the next podcast, actually the next One More Sleep, because I don't think you're going to be on the next podcast, Philly, after this one.
No, I'll be in North Carolina.
Yeah. So, all right, Philly will fill you all in on that maybe at tomorrow's episode. What? Nope. Tuesday's episode. Nope. Monday. I got it. Monday's episode. Philly, I'm done.
Me too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Where's the button? There's the button.